Honorable prayer.
In the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Dear Lord,
Dear Lord,
as we deliberate in today's session, give us the wisdom to overcome passion. Give us that understanding heart to do away with prejudice. Give us the foresight to know what the future may devise. Give us the courage and strength to seek the truth and what is good. Give us the facility of language that we may be understood. And finally, O Lord, make us worthy public servants of the city. We deeply love and highly honor Naga City, the heart of Bicol. Amen.
next item.
Pambansang awit.
Again, good morning. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Engineer Gemel Tayabinas of the City Engineer's Office. Next item.
Privilege time.
Anybody who'd like to avail of the privilege time? None. Next item.
Reading and approval of the order of business.
Honorable Salvador del Castillo.
Madam Chair, I move to dispense with the reading of the order of business and move to include the following items. Under special business order, item number 6 is the endorsement from the City Budget Officer endorsing the annual budget of the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Sabang. Under number 7, under unfinished special business order, the letter of the City Mayor dated June 8, 2020, requesting for ratification of the deed of absolute sale entered into by the City and Mrs. Judith Claro. Item number 8 is BO. The letter of the Mayor dated June 5, 2020, requesting for the passage of an ordinance extending the deadline for the payment of all taxes, fees, and charges falling due in March, April, and May to June 25, 2020 without interest, surcharges, or any form of penalty. Item number 9 under SBO. The letter of the Mayor dated June 8, 2020, requesting for authority to negotiate with the affected landowner of the road project leading to the San Isidro sanitary landfill. Item number 10 of the special business or order, the request of the mayor for the passage of an ordinance withdrawing from public servitude portion of Evangelista Street. Under unfinished business, the endorsement coming from the letter rather coming from Enjoy Realty Development Corporation, requesting to reconsider the application for alteration of plan of Parkview Executive Townhouses. And item number 3 under SBO, the letter from Enjoy Realty requesting for reconsideration of their application for alteration of plan of Parkview Village 2. Item number 4 under SBO, the proposed ordinance
business?
authored by the Honorable Joselito del Rosario.
Under unfinished business?
Under unfinished business, Madam Chair, number 4. An ordinance strengthening the Information Technology Office of Naga City. Item number 5 under unfinished business, the endorsement coming from the City Planning and Development Office with regards to the technical evaluation of the ISIPA, Homeowners Association Incorporated, relative to their application for development permit. Item number 6 under unfinished business, the committee report of public hearing of the Committee on Transportation dated March 4, 2020, and item number 7, the committee report of the Committee on Transport of the public hearing held on March 4, 2020. Under new business, Madam Chair, the proposed resolution authored by the Honorable Hill Rosales, resolution constituting the Naga City Labor Management Council. And the last item under new business is the letter of the mayor with regards to the request of the Philippine Dental Association Camarines Sur Chapter to extend the deed of usufruct entered into between the City Government of Naga and the said organization. With the inclusion, Madam Chair, I move for the approval of the order of business.
Any second? Okay, the agenda as amended is approved. Next item.
Order of business, special business or order. The endorsement dated June 3, 2020 from the City Budget Officer forwarding the annual budget of Sangguniang Kabataan of Triangulo involving the amount of 1,190,661 pesos.
Honorable Rosales, Chairman of the Committee on Appropriation.
Madam Chair, this pertains to the 10% details of the annual budget of the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Triangulo. May I move to declare the annual budget involving the amount of 1,190,661 pesos as operative in its entirety. So move, Madam Chair.
Any second? Okay, approved. Next item.
In joint and collective, Madam Chair.
On joint and collective motion. Next item.
The endorsement from the Budget Officer forwarding the annual budget of Sangguniang Kabataan of Peña Francia involving the amount of 691,594.
May I also move on joint and collective, Madam Chair, to declare the annual budget of Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Peña Francia involving the amount of 691,594 pesos as operative in its entirety. So move, Madam Chair.
On joint and collective?
On joint and collective,
Oh,
Madam.
on joint and collective motion approved. Next item.
The letter dated June 4, 2020 from the City Budget Officer and Acting City Administrator requesting for the passage of a resolution ratifying the Memorandum of Agreement entered into by and between the city and Barangay Tabuco in connection with the financial assistance amounting to 480,000 for the purchase of service vehicle.
Honorable Rosales.
May I also move on joint and collective, Madam Chair, for the passage of a resolution ratifying the memorandum of agreement entered between the City Government of Naga and the Punong Barangay of Barangay Tabuco. This is in connection with the purchase of service vehicle and the city's counterpart of 480,000 charged to their 2019 Barangay Support Fund. So move, Madam Chair.
On joint and collective. On
Joint
joint
and
and collective motion approved. Next item.
The letter dated June 4, 2020 from Dr. Fe de los Reyes, Executive Director, Health Learning Center Foundation Incorporated, seeking renewal of the MOA between the city and the Learning Center to ensure delivery of quality health and education programs to children with disability, as well as provide advocacy and capacity building activities for effective parenting.
Honorable Ranyola.
May I move that we pass this memorandum of agreement between the Help Learning and the LGU of Naga.
Any second? Before the approval, Honorable Castillo, is that an objection?
Just a clarification, Madam Chair. What are the obligations of the city in this MOA?
I think
Well,
it provides financial
definitely manpower and some financial obligation.
assistance. We have
And they've been
given them-
helping us with the
yearly
with the children who are
with special
incapacitated.
needs, children with special needs.
So, second query, Madam Chair, is that 1.5 million the same as we have budgeted this year, or there is an increase in the amount of assistance?
I think, yeah. I don't know if it's the same, but I thought we have already approved the budget for that. Garo-i.
Yes, because if our budget is less than that amount, then I think we have, it should be adjusted and a hearing should be made for that particular purpose. That's why I'm raising the issue either our budget for the year is the same as that of what appeared in the MOA.
I think there is an increase, Madam Chair. You know, the Honorable Elmer Valdemoro is one of the director of this Help Learning. So may I withdraw my motion and defer this until after Councilor Elmer Valdemoro is around.
Okay.
So we refer this to him.
So you're withdrawing your motion?
Because he is director of this Help
until
Learning.
the-
I'm not a part of it.
Okay, so the motion for the approval is withdrawn, and so with those who seconded it. Next item, referred to the Committee on Children Education.
I think appropriation, Madam Chair, because it involves
Appropriation. Yes.
sums of money.
Committee on Appropriation and
Yes.
Children.
Appropriation, not children, because not all are considered children. Children are 0 to 17 years old, or below 18. There are people studying there which are more than 18 years old. So, not anymore covered by the Committee on Children.
So committee, this is referred to the Committee on Appropriation. Next item.
The letter dated June 5, 2020 from Attorney MacGyver Gerard Orbina of the City Legal Office requesting authority for the City Mayor to file necessary action before the Court of Appeals against Manubay Agro-Industrial Development Corporation concerning the Father Pelan Drive at Kilometer 7, Barangay Pakul, this city.
Okay, Honorable Del Castillo.
believes that we should elevate the case to the Court of Appeals. For the information of the body, our case before the RTC was, we lost the case at the RTC. So I believe that we should elevate the case to the Court of Appeals for on appeal, so that all the jurisprudence which are we are observing should be reviewed by the court, and the proper decision on the matter be rendered. So with that, Madam Chair, I move that we pass a resolution authorizing the city mayor to file the necessary action before the Court of Appeals against Mandicor, the Manubay Development Corporation, with regards to the Pilan Drive, located at Pakul, Naga City.
Any second? Okay, approved. Is that an objection? Comment?
No, not an objection, Madam Chair. Just want to be clarified, because we also have the presence of the city legal officer this morning. So can we request that my clarifications be answered by the city legal officer? May I move for the suspension of the rules?
Okay, rules is suspended to make way for Attorney MacGyver to enlighten the Sanggunian with regards to the case filed by the city against Mandicor.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you,
Just
Honorable
like to know what will be the appeal filed in the Court of Appeals.
Your Honors, please. We intend to file a Rule 65 petition for certiorari, Your Honor, before the Court of Appeals po.
And who will be representing the case on the part of the city government?
Honorable Nelson S. Ligacion po will be representing the City Government of Naga po.
Together with you.
Together with you?
I will be standing as counsel po, but as party litigant po, it will be Mayor Nelson Ligacion who will be representing the City Government of Naga po.
And one last question, Madam Chair, because I've read the decision of the case and I became quite interested. The observation of the Honorable Judge was that we had no expropriation ordinance filed in the Sangguniang Panglungsod. So, did we look at the possibility of just filing the necessary expropriation case instead of appealing to the Court of Appeals? Because I think our objective really is just to formally acquire the land. And wouldn't it be easier if we just file the necessary expropriation case through an expropriation ordinance, and the court will issue a condemnation order, and we will officially have the property? I just like to learn more about it, Madam Chair.
Your Honor, with respect to the answer to that question, Your Honor, I was given instruction that if questions of the same import would be asked po during the session, may I request for an executive session, Your Honor, for reasons that the answers to those questions would include spilling legal strategies which should not be previously or prematurely given to the public po.
Thank you, Attorney. Okay, you're satisfied with that? So,
okay, Madam Chair. I think his suggestion will
as suggested by Attorney MacGyver, we will discuss it after the break.
Perhaps, Madam Chair, it will be helpful if the Sangguniang also will know kung ano po ang magiging strategy.
Yes, so that we'll discuss it.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Separate between. Thank you, Attorney MacGyver.
Thank you, Your Honors.
Orvina. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the Barangay Council of Tabuco, headed by Punong Barangay Carmona.
So, Madam Chair, may I move to temporarily defer this item.
Okay, this matter is deferred. Okay, Honorable Del Castillo.
Presence of the barangay officials of Tabuco was in connection with the previous matter that we have already approved.
Yes.
The MOA between
Ayan,
the
for the
city and
service
Barangay
vehicle.
Tabuco for the purchase of vehicle. Specifically, our counterpart of 180,000 pesos. So that we will not consume so much time of the barangay officials, we will just inform them that their request was already considered and approved by this body.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Del Castillo. We would like to inform the Barangay Council of Tabuco that your request in the amount for financial assistance for your service vehicle was already approved on joint and collective motion. Para po dahil naman kamo maano. Thank you for your presence. Okay. Okay. Rules, resume. Next item. Next item.
The endorsement from the City Budget Officer endorsing the annual budget of Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Sabang.
Honorable Rosales.
May I also move on joint and collective motion to declare the annual budget of the Sangguniang Kabataan o Barangay Sabang involving the amount of 7,989. Is the amount correct? Because the words are different from the numbers. So which one? In the
386, dapat 807,000 sala silver.
yes, Madam Chair, in
What's
the
the right amount?
in the appropriations ordinance, the amount is 807,989 pesos. May I move to declare it as operable in its entirety on joint and collective, Madam
On joint
Chair.
and collective motion, this approved. Honorable Del Castillo.
I know whether the presence of the mayor is already around so that we can have an executive session to tackle the concern of Attorney Urbina with
Yes.
regards to
Yes.
that case.
Okay, can we request Attorney Pacgyver to inform the mayor if we can have an executive session with regards to our case
So that
against Mani, ano?
kung dahil pa man available si Mayor, Madam Chair, di makabalik ko na sinda sa opisina, sa legal office para paapudantan lang kung available na si Mayor.
Okay, Attorney
Para dahil
Pacgyver.
naman ko na sinda magparahalat.
Okay.
I think the Mayor should be around when we talk this matter.
Okay,
over.
thank you, Honorable
Yeah,
Del
thank you.
Castillo. Next item.
The letter dated June 8, 2020 from Attorney Rebecca Grace Maranyo requesting for the ratification of the deed of absolute sale entered into by between the city and Mrs. Judith Claro.
Honorable Del Castillo.
Attorney Maranyo is around. May I inquire some matters, Madam Chair? First, may I know whether it is still the city who will shoulder the capital gains tax on this
Capital gains
transaction? Yes. Because as a backgrounder, Madam Chair, this property was subjected to an expropriation between the city and the property owners, but the fund of the city was subjected to garnishment without objection coming from the city legal officer nor the city mayor's office at the time. And based on existing jurisprudence, government fund cannot be subjected to garnishment. There's a long line of decision by the Supreme Court that government fund cannot be a subject of garnishment. So I believe that there is negligence on the part of the of the officials, some officials of the city rather, which consented to the garnishment of the city government fund involving this particular case. And that's the reason why when the subject matter was transmitted to us and referred to Sangguniang Palansod for ratification, majority of the members of this body disapproved the request that the city is the one who will shoulder the capital gains tax. Because in the first place, the compromise agreement entered into between the city and the other party was not ratified by the Sangguniang Palansod. That's what happened, Madam Chair. So, despite of the fact that the authority state that all matters pertaining to this case should be referred to the Sangguniang Palansod for action. So, may I know whether it is still the city who will shoulder the capital gains tax?
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Honorable Del Castillo. Rules is suspended. May we ask the Attorney Marano to answer the query of the Honorable Del Castillo? Okay. For the information of everybody, the mayor is available. So we will take a break when he comes to the session hall. Okay, Attorney Marano, with the questions raised by the Honorable Del Castillo, are we going to pay the capital gains tax and other matters?
Good morning to the honorable members of the Sanggunian. Based on the documents which are present in the office, there was a letter from the former city mayor, John Bongat, wherein he mentioned in the letter that as an incentive for this sale, for the expropriation of the property of the heirs of Roberto Milano, and actually with the property of Mrs. Claro, the city shall shoulder the capital gains taxes for the sale. After which, the former city legal officer requested for a clarification on the matter, and the court in that expropriation case mentioned in the order that as per the letter submitted by the city in the expropriation case, it should be the city who would shoulder the capital gains taxes. And it was already, the said order had already attained finality. That's why in the deed of absolute sale that we have drafted, we included that the buyer, the city, will shoulder the capital gains taxes. We have anchored the drafting of this contract with the judgment and the order which both attain finality in the expropriation case which we have filed last 2015, if I am not mistaken, Your Honor.
2019. Honorable Del Castillo, follow up to your query.
Yes, Madam Chair. But the fact is, compromise agreement entered into the parties, particularly the city, should be ratified by the Sangguniang Palansod. Because in the first place, the authority to file the case emanates from this body.
Sangguniang.
If there is a ratification of the compromise agreement, I will not question I will not raise this question, Madam Chair. But the fact is, there is no ratification of the compromise agreement between the city and by the Sangguniang Panunsod rather of that compromise agreement. So, and therefore, that compromise agreement is not binding on the part of the city. So how could we pay if we are not bound by that agreement?
Your Honors, please. Actually, there was no compromise agreement entered between. There is no compromise agreement, Your Honors, please. There was only a, based on the records which the office have retrieved, there is an order dated January 29, 2015, in the expropriation case we filed, wherein it states that there was a very exhaustive conference between the parties as to the amount of just compensation, as to the payment of taxes involved. And in this order, the city was mandated to pay the amount as stated, and after which, as I have already mentioned earlier, there was this motion filed by the former city legal officer wherein he sought to clarify as to the payment of taxes. More importantly, the payment of capital gains taxes, wherein the court, in its order, also mentioned about the letter. And therefore, with that order, the court ordered the city to pay the just compensation as agreed during that very exhaustive conference as mentioned, and the capital gains taxes, Your Honors.
Okay, Honorable Del Rosario.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Attorney. For purposes of recollection, may I ask our technical staff to show us yung Sangguniang Resolution 2020-123 para mahiling ka lang si yan pico-quote dyan sa letter ni Attorney Miranda. Pursuant to Resolution 2020-123 of this Honorable Sangguniang, the City Mayor was authorized to execute necessary contracts, etc., etc. So apparently, we have approved this resolution on joint collective motion that we are authorizing the City Mayor na obligasyon to take necessary action or execute necessary contracts with the owners of the property subject of expropriation ordinance 2014-048, if this is the ordinance being alluded to, in order to complete the payment for the just compensation ordered by the Honorable Court and for the City Government to take possession thereof, subject to the ratification of the Sangguniang Paglunsod. So this letter of Attorney Miranda pertains to the ratification of the earlier authority given to the City Mayor. So, Madam Chair, I believe that this project is very important to the City Government of Naga. Halos pirang taon naman ining natenga. Although, I fully support the stand of Councilor Buddy Del Castillo that the Sangguniang Panunsod, being the body that vested yung authority, siya magiraray dapat ang mag-review kang ano. And apparently, may misstep duman sa anong ito. So, probably with this resolution and yung authority, yung ratification being sought by the legal office, probably mag-cure kang ibang defects, not totally cure the but yung other defects na related. So I think the other members of Sangguniang can take note of this resolution that we approve. Tin ka sorry rin tin, pick-approve tin, pakiilig sa baba. Sa baba. March 10. Just recently, March 10. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Del Rosario. So, any other follow-up questions or remarks from the Honorable Del Castillo? Honorable Del Castillo.
Only pertains, so this deed of absolute sale rather only pertains to the property owned by Claro. It does not involve the property of the Milanos.
Yes, Your Honor. It only involves the property of
Okay.
Mrs. Judith Claro.
So with that clarification, Madam Chair, I will yield.
So, any formal motion for the approval?
Joint and collective motion, Madam Chair, I move that we ratify the deed of absolute sale entered into between the city and Mrs. Judith Claro,
Okay.
involving this
On
subject
joint and
property.
collective motion, approved. We take a break. The mayor is already at the conference room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Maranyo. Okay, break. Executive session at the conference room o digdigiraray. Sa inyo, dumana? Attorney